coffee. I was draining slow out of the thing this morning. If you're new to the show, you might not know I use these. A pour over coffee filter. Makes great coffee. Absolutely great coffee. Oh, here we go. It's time. In 3, 2, 1. Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Today is Wednesday. It's March 17th, 2021. My name is Jeremy, and this is my first cup of coffee. It's like St. Patrick's Day or something. It is. What kind of celebration will people be doing of St. Patrick's Day? Not much. I saw somebody post last night that they made their kid green eggs and ham for dinner. Oh, I saw. Oh, and a couple traps for a leprechaun. I've got a friend who's been introducing me to the leprechaun films. They're not very good. They're kind of fun in that not very good bad way. Might be worth checking out. I don't know. They're alright. We enjoy making fun of them. My coffee is too weak. How is that possible? I use plenty of grounds. That's sad. Apparently the cat didn't get the message on daylight savings time. She's gone the complete other way. She started waking me up at, I don't know, it must have been 4 something, which in current time should feel to her like 3 something, but Frank says they always after me Lucky Charms. Yeah. I guess if you were gonna really go hard on St. Patrick's Day, you might start your day with Lucky Charms. I'm not going to be doing that. It's not like I won't eat cereal once in a while, but most cereal is so terrible for you. It really is. And especially stuff like that with, those marshmallows. Oh. It's been, God, when was the last time I had something like Lucky Charms? It's been a very long time, but just the texture of those marshmallows always made my teeth, makes me cringe thinking about them. Well, yesterday. What was yesterday? Yesterday was Tuesday. So we had, Andrew and I recorded 5 episodes, 5 Thursday episodes yesterday. One with a guest about a whistlekick project. We brought somebody in, and was supposed to record with a guest in the afternoon, and they showed up an hour late. And, there are reasons for people to be late. There are reasons for people to no-show that are legitimate. Completely get it. But I'm going to vent for a moment here. It is unlikely that the guest will see this, but if the guest sees this, so be it. When we set up our process, we wanted to make sure that people knew how we do it. That we made it easy for everyone. So one of the steps is we send you a calendar invite. It has a reminder on it. And you accept that calendar invite. So this person accepted the calendar invite, and then an hour after start time, sends me an email that says, hey, I know I'm late, but I was trying to confirm with your team this morning. What? Why would you need to confirm a calendar appointment that we've already made, that you've already accepted? It's in your calendar. There's no need to confirm. And if you can't reach someone, how about you show up on time instead of guessing and showing up late? It's ridiculous. So I did a bunch of other work. Got through a bunch of email. Somebody placed an order the other day. I picked the order and brought it inside so it could thaw and I could check everything was all right. That's one of the weird things about sparring gear is that you can store it in the cold. It's perfectly fine in the cold. But if you want to do a real inspection on it, and I do, before I'm going to ship something out, I really want to look at something closely, because I don't want to have to deal with returns, right? So I look it over really closely, but I can't do that until it's thawed out. Warehouse is 28 right now, and so I put it in the sun. If you ever buy sparring gear, especially from a company like us that uses a better quality foam, you should leave it in the sun. If it's getting all like squished, if you want to soften it up and help it regain its shape, put it in the sun. It's the best thing to do, because it warms it up just enough. You're not going to melt it. You're not going to ruin it. You could probably ruin it in the sun in a car, like if you left it on the dashboard, that might do it. But other than that, as long as you don't use like artificial heat, you should be fine. So that was a no-show, and then an episode I recorded a couple weeks ago, last week maybe? I think it was last week. The audio quality was terrible. We have to re-record. So we're behind the 8-ball on our buffer. This is going to be tight. I don't know if we're going to be able to do this. So we'll see. We'll figure something out. The worst case, what's the worst case? The worst case is that a show doesn't come out. And actually, we have a kind of secret hidden episode if we need it. Julius and I put one together. Gosh, that was probably a year and a half ago. Just to put something out if we had to. Okay. We are prepared. What else happened yesterday? Went to the gym, ate tacos. Lately, when I've been making tacos, I don't know if you do this. Do you do this? So the way I was taught to make tacos is you take all the different ingredients and you lay them out and you add them together, like buffet style. And that works. That's fine. But it's more work. It's more cleanup. It's more dishes. So lately, I've been, because it's fish. I usually do fish. So I'll throw the fish in the pan. Once the fish cooks, I'll throw the other stuff in with it. So yesterday was a little bit of rice and some cheese. Anything else? I don't think there was anything else. And I just cook and mix that and melt the cheese, and then I just have a bowl of that, and I scoop that into the taco shells. And I ate that. It's less work. It's pretty good. Now, of course, that doesn't work if you have different people who want different stuff in their tacos, but it's just me. The cat doesn't eat tacos. She barely even eats fish. She's a weirdo. So what's today? I got a couple calls, shooting some video this afternoon. Gonna be shooting outside for a lot of it. Got a bunch of things that we'll be doing. Did a bunch of planning yesterday morning on what videos we need for what stages in these sales cycles of all these products that we're doing. And gonna get outside. Oh, excuse me. Ooh. I might go to class tonight. I could. I could go to Taekwondo tonight. Maybe I'll do that. I haven't been in months. Yeah. We'll see about that. See how the day goes. A couple other things going on. One of them seems to be helping. So, as many of you know, I listen to a lot of podcasts, and I listen to a lot of health podcasts, fitness podcasts. It was the same, health and fitness, I guess, the way I approach them. And one of their sponsors, has this magnesium product that they've talked about a few times that is supposed to help with anxiety, stress. So I did some research on the ingredients. I went and found the product, found the ingredients, did research on the ingredients, and found that there is some clinical evidence. And so I looked at buying it, but it was expensive. And it says, Happy St. Patrick's Day from Ireland. I mean, I would love to know what St. Patrick's Day looks like over there. Is it because here in America, depending on where you are, we have parades and drink green beer and just turn it into an excuse to be drunk and stupid. Which, hey, if that's what you're into, there's nothing wrong with that. I enjoy a good party. But being that you're in Ireland, I wonder if it's different over there. So I took a look at this product that was sponsoring this company, or this podcast I listened to, and it looked good. But I found something that was much cheaper. So I bought that. And I've taken it 2 days. It's not magic. It could be placebo. But I don't think so. I think there's something here. Is it solving my anxiety problem? No. But I'm going to finish the bottle. This is what I usually do when I try something. I try to try. When I add something into a routine, I try to change only one variable at a time. Instead of, okay, I'm going to do this, that, and the other thing all at the same time. Well, how do you know what works and what doesn't? So this is a bottle that I think it was like $30. It's like a 45-day supply. I'm going to give it at least a week before I add something else in, because I ordered this wearable that I'd seen a number of ads for, and I did the research on that. And it's goes around your wrist, and it looks like any other fitness wearable, but it creates vibrations, and the premise is it can shift you from a sympathetic to a parasympathetic state, from a stressed fight or flight response to a rest and digest, relaxed state. And I found a bunch of reviews from people saying that it's not magic, but it works. So that arrived yesterday. It's currently charging on my desk, and I'll probably start experimenting with that today. We'll see. I don't like being stressed out. I don't do my best work when I'm stressed. I don't feel good when I'm stressed. Last night I was sitting here, I was watching TV, eating my tacos. I was like, maybe I should play video games, because I've really been getting into this game that I'm playing, The Last of Us, the original one. So I never played. It's really good, but the part that I'm at has zombies, and the zombie parts, those are stressful because they pop up out of nowhere. Was it Sunday night when I went to bed? I laid down and I was just like, ah! It was not good. It took me about an hour to settle because I've been playing zombie games. Emmett replied. What did Emmett say? Small parades, it's more about drinking for breakfast right through till tomorrow. Haha. Okay. So pretty much you handle it the same way that we do, or I should say we handle it the same way you do. Well, I don't feel as bad. No. It's interesting the things that we do to celebrate and what they tend to turn into. Celebration tends to turn into alcohol, and food, it tends to turn, I don't know, there's the psychology of celebration is interesting, isn't it? When we celebrate, what are we doing? We're doing things we wouldn't normally do. Drinking to excess, or hanging around with a bunch of other people that we otherwise would not, eating different foods and more food than we might typically, spending money on things. We celebrate by doing things that are unsustainable. And I find that odd. I do it too. Frank's asking if I will be drinking green beer today. No, I don't think so. I don't even think I have food coloring in this house. Do I? I don't think I do. I do have some beer, but it's not Irish. It's cheap light beer. Coors Light. Of all the light beers, it's the only one I really enjoy. So maybe I will go to the store and get, you know what I would do instead of drinking green beer? I would go to the store and get some Guinness. And let's see, what store? I would probably have to go over there to find Harp and make black and tans. Because a good black and tan is pretty darn amazing. If you've ever had a black and tan. Plenty of restaurants, bars will make black and tans with things that aren't right. Guinness and Harp, as far as I'm concerned. I don't know if Emmett would agree with me, but I've had Guinness offered with some or black and tans offered with Guinness in some absolutely awful combinations, and I just have outright refused. You know what else I could do? It's not really Irish, but in college I was introduced to a drink called a snake bite. I don't know why it's called that, but Guinness and hard cider, which actually works amazingly well. Guinness is a phenomenal beer. So good. So good. I love Guinness. It was probably the first beer I found that I really enjoyed when I started drinking beer. It just there's a different quality to it. So, Frank, I think you talked me into it. I'll probably stop at the store at some point and grab some beer today. All right. Let's see what you all gave me to talk about. Oh, and I shaved yesterday. I shaved because Andrew and I recorded 5 episodes. How long did that take us? Just shy of 3 hours. 2.5, 2 3/4 hours. Shout out to Justin Ford. He was a guest. Which, if you know anything about the people involved at Whistlekick, that gives you an idea as to what's going on. All right, so I've got some quotes today from Frank, from Rosalynn Carter, and we'll start with this one. Now, if I remember correctly, Frank, you have told me that you save good fortunes out of fortune cookies, so I'm assuming this is one out of your collection. If you spend all your time learning the tricks of the trade, you'll never learn the trade. Which I believe is a follow-up to something I was talking about yesterday. And it's true. Everybody looking for shortcuts, avoiding the work, avoiding the effort that is required to make progress. It doesn't mean that you don't seek out efficiencies. It doesn't mean that you don't grow a business through economy of scale and finding better processes. But it does mean that at some point you've got to start. You know what? Here's the thing. I was talking about this with somebody yesterday. I was at the gym, and there are a couple brothers that come in, and I'm going to guess that they're early to mid 20s. Nice kids. And, you know, it's funny at the gym because nobody realizes how old I am. So they once they put those pieces together, it can be a little weird. But, you know, I'm the one, you know, we're talking about music from the 90s and things because they'll put it on the gym radio. Anyway, and so this guy mentions, I said, how are you? And he's like, oh, I'm okay, waiting for the weekend. I was like, why? He's like, oh, you know, because I don't have to work. And that sets me off. Like every time somebody brings that, you know, I want to get through to the weekend. Well, do you not like your job? No, it's okay. Well, what would you rather be doing? And so we spent about, over the next 20 minutes, you know, in between sets and everything, we're having this conversation. And there was some resistance there. Because it's a scary thing. Because he's talking about starting a hotel. And, you know, I'm throwing some ideas at him. And I was leaving, I said, you know, I expect an update the next time I see you. And he said, yeah. And I said, you know, something I want you to keep in mind. I said, you know, when you use a GPS, when you're driving somewhere, you come to the end of when you start, if you start in your driveway, and most of us who use a GPS have had this experience, it doesn't know which direction you're facing. And sometimes, if you're in a new area, you may not know which direction it wants you to go. It wants you to go up the street, down the street, north, right? If you're in a city, especially, when I pull out of this spot, am I supposed to go forward? Am I supposed to make a U-turn here? And you can sit there and you can stare at the map and try to, what's going on? Do I go this? But what's the easiest way to figure out which way to go? You just start driving. And either you're going to be right or it's going to tell you to turn around. But the sooner you pull out of your spot and you drive, the sooner you know which direction you're supposed to be going. The key is you have to start. And he just kind of stood there and nodded. And he said, you've got me really excited about this. I'm going to start working on this tonight. I was like, good. Then I did my job. The thing I enjoy most in the world is helping other people get closer to their goals. Martial arts goals, business goals, personal goals. I love doing that. I want to find a non-arrogant way to say this, but one of my goals is to be the Tony Robbins of the martial arts world. I don't want to say it in that derivative way, but I think Tony Robbins is great. He's done amazing work, helped a lot of people. I want to do amazing work and help a lot of people. Hi, Kat. All right. Now that we got through that, I may not get through all these quotes today. So we've got 4 here from, excuse me, Rosalynn Carter. Early diagnosis is so important because the earlier a mental illness can be detected, diagnosed, and treatment can begin, the better off that person can be for the rest of his or her life. Yeah, we are in the midst. We will look back on this time, I believe, at this mass awakening of awareness and acceptance of mental illness. There's a lot of mental illness, and are there mental illnesses that maybe deserve more attention than others? Sure. Are there mental illnesses that have been exacerbated by environmental concerns, societal concerns, nutritional concerns? Yes. But just because those things are true does not mean we just dismiss them. The late, great comedian Mitch Hedberg has a wonderful, wonderful joke that I really like. And I think it perfectly illustrates our attitude towards mental illness. Alcoholism is a disease, but it's the only disease that people will yell at you for. Damn it, Otto, you're an alcoholic. You never hear, damn it, Otto, you have lupus. Think about that. Addiction is an illness. It's a mental illness. And, we could probably do a whole episode talking about addiction, at least as far as I understand it. But I hope we get to a point where we start to look at how do we treat, prevent, mitigate all illness. Everything from stress and anxiety to addiction to autism spectrum to obesity to asthma, chronic fatigue, immune system conditions. There's a lot going on. And I have some strong opinions that I'm not going to share. And those opinions have nothing to do with, these things are not real. They're real. They're very real. How do I know? Because I deal with some of them. Next. Come on. If we have not achieved our early dreams, we must either find new ones or see what we can salvage from the old. If we have accomplished what we set out to do in our youth, we need not weep like Alexander the Great that we have no more worlds to conquer. How do you achieve your dreams? Step one, determine what they are. If you have a dream and you want it badly enough, the rest falls into place. The two pieces that are missing from most people achieving success are not knowing what they want or not wanting it badly enough. And I believe that the reason for the second one, for not wanting it bad enough, comes from not being very clear about what they want. There are plenty of cases where people know what they want, but they don't believe it's possible. So then you have to readjust. You have to adjust either what is possible, or you have to adjust your dream to something that you believe is possible. I believe everything's possible. It might take time, effort, money. It might take a lot of it. It might take more than one of those than you have. I could lay out a plan for anyone. Let's put it this way. Given enough time, I could lay out a plan that made anybody a billionaire. Most people don't have that much time. Right? It might take a couple hundred years. We don't live that long yet. But if you really wanted to be a billionaire, I could give you a plan that got you there, that gave you a good chance of getting there. It would require a heck of a lot of work, a lot of risk, and you'd have to sacrifice a lot of other things. And that's what gets in the way for most people achieving their dreams, is they're not willing to sacrifice other things. One of the things that I've been thinking a lot about lately is this fact that I'm single. I am chronically single. My last relationship ended over 4 years ago. How important is it to me that changes? Is that more important to me than my professional goals? I don't know. I don't know. I go back and forth. So that's one of the things I'm working on getting some clarity about. Without volunteers, we'd be a nation without a soul. Volunteers, charitable donations, are a great way of understanding what's important to us as a society. Animals are very important to us. Kids are very important to us. Food security is very important to us. Housing, less so, but somewhat. Medicine, much less so. You follow the path of donations. Look at the organizations that have popped up to handle whatever. It tells us a lot. I would actually love to see, most of you know me to be a pretty staunch libertarian, I would love to see all the taxes that we pay in federally that ultimately end up in the hands of nonprofits return to people, or at least give individuals the ability to choose where that money goes. That's democracy. Where does the money go? Where would your money go? What organizations, or at least causes, are important to you? That's something I think about. Where does my money go when I make donations? Which is not a lot, because I don't have a lot, but when I do choose to, it's probably 50-50 between going to individuals with specific causes. You know, once in a while a GoFundMe pops up and I'm like, you know what? That I'll get in. I'll support. Or it's something like one of the local United Way chapters. We have an organization based here, the Institute for Sustainable Communities, that I've donated to. Outdoor organizations like the Green Mountain Club, which is the Vermont entity that handles our stretch of the Appalachian Trail, as well as other things. You know, things like that. Dogs, you know, humane societies, things like that. That's what I help with. And we're going to skip the last one because of time. So, good stuff. Thank you, Frank. I hope you have a great day. We talked about a lot of interesting stuff today. I hope I got some wheels turning. And I hope that when I talk about these things, you realize that they apply to martial arts just as well as they apply to everything else. My goal when I share this stuff is that it fires you up for your day, that you go and you accomplish things, that you figure out and work towards your goals. Because how much better would the world be if people were working on their goals? Oh, but there would be things that wouldn't get done. Bull. There's always a way. Every job that's out there, there's somebody who wants to do it. Maybe not the way you think of it, but there's always a way. Right? I will see you back here tomorrow, 6:30, bright and early. Take care, everybody. Peace.